For this project, I made a development playbook to show how this class connects to my real life. I picked the topics identity, family, and peers because they connect the most to my experiences as a student athlete. Football has been a big part of my life, but my family, friends, and future goals also helped me shape who I am. This class helped me understand that growing up is affected by many things, not just one experience. As I talk about these modules, I'll explain how they connect to my own life and what I learned from them. The first module I'll be talking about is Module 4, Identity. In Module 4, we learned about identity, which means figuring out who you are as a person. We learned about Erik Erikson's theory that says teenagers spend a lot of time trying to understand where they fit in. That is definitely true. I spent a lot of times growing up trying to figure out what my crowd was, hence that I have a lot of older siblings. I really didn't fit in with the kids. And also, one of the videos from class, the younger kids describe themselves in simple ways, like cool, awesome, but teenagers describe themselves in more detailed and emotional ways. They showed how people start thinking more deeply about themselves during adolescence, from going from young kids to older kids. This connected to my life because growing up as a kid, really being like one of the youngest kids always around, I always went to the rec centers growing up, always described myself as like an older, I never really was into, the kid things that a normal kid was used to, so I definitely connect to that. This module helped me realize that identity is built through life experiences, culture, and relationships. It also made me think about who I want to become in the future outside of football. The next module that I really want to talk about was families. Family is a really big thing for me. It's really important. I have a really big family, and that really helped me shape who I am, and it was really a part of my life growing up. In Module 8, we learned about family relationships and how teenagers slowly become more independent as they get older, hence me. We also learned about parenting styles and how support from family can help teenagers stay confident and motivated. Growing up, my dad was in the Navy, so he was gone for a long time. So each and every time my dad came back from deployment, I felt like that kid in me was more disconnected from my father. I feel like I was growing up more, and I didn't really connect with the things that he thought I liked anymore. I was growing up. He came back every time. He thought I was the same young Jalil, but I wasn't. I was older. I was more mature. We learned about parenting styles and how parent supports from family can help teenagers stay confident and motivated. And one example from class was authoritative parenting, which means parents support their kids while also keeping rules and expectations. That's my mom. She supports me, but I'm always gonna be her baby, and she's always gonna, have her rules and expectations. We also learned that arguments between teenage parents usually happen because teenagers want more freedom. Yeah, my brother kind of went through that because he is a little older than me, and I watched him. When he got as a freshman in high school, he wanted to go to parties and hang out more, but my dad still felt like, he's 14 years old, 15 years old, just entered high school, so he still was a young boy who my dad wanted to protect, and that's understandable. This module connected to my life because my family helped me get to where I am. They pushed me to work hard in school and stay in sports, and always reminded me to stay focused on my goal. I don't need to grow too fast, and I don't need to stay young for too young. The next module that I really want to talk about was peers and relationships. I feel like your peers really help you shape who you are. I've always told this, you are who you hang around. In Module 9, we learned about friendships, peer pressure, and how social groups affect behavior. I was told this so many times playing sports in high school. It never gets old. Peer pressure means feeling influenced by the people around you. Yeah, growing up, my brother and my family, we grew up in a relatively nice neighborhood. But for some reason, my brother and his friends wanted to act as if we grew up in a different neighborhood, So my brother, who was a really nice kid, we grew up in a church family going, played every sport, but he wanted to hang around kids who didn't really do those things. They didn't share the same things in common. So my brother ended up being easily influenced and going down the wrong path, and it didn't end up right for him. So I really, really, really am connected with this module, and I feel like this module really, really is like a staple to how you get to everywhere. You are who you hang around, your social group really matters. Peer pressure, we also talked about cliques and crowds. That's amazing. Which are the different social groups teenagers can be placed into. In high school, kids are just like shifted into a group. Like I noticed, like when I got to high school, I really didn't know much people at my school, but somehow I just ended up within the groups, and I realized my group that I ended up with was the football players. I ended up hanging around the football players, which kind of shifted who I hung around throughout my whole high school experience. And luckily I had those friends and those football teammates, because a lot of kids in high school growing up, they don't have that freedom to just have friends who are automatically connected with them. I had those football teammates. Some people going to high school where they don't play sports, so they have to go out and find friends. This module really stood out to me because balancing friendships and sports can be difficult as a student athlete. It can be difficult as a regular student as well. Balancing friendships is really hard. Sports take a lot of time and energy, and not everybody understands that responsibility. I learned early that setting boundaries is important because not every friendship helps you grow. My dad being in the Navy and him being who he is, he always told me that you have to set boundaries with your friends. You have to let them know what is wrong and what is right. Some people may help you stay focused on your goals while others distract you from them. And people are going to learn that, and it's okay to go through those. Everyone's going to go through those mistakes. This module really helped me realize how important it is to surround yourself with positive people and healthy friendships. Every day I learn it, even growing up, even in college to this day, you're going to see when you get here. To conclude it, overall, this class helped me better understand how identity, family, and friendships all help shape development. It showed me that growing up is not about just getting older, but also about learning from experiences and relationships. This project helped me reflect on my own life and understand how football, family, and friendships influenced me. As I continue through college and adulthood, I will use these lessons to stay focused on my goals, build relationships, and continue growing as a person. I think these lessons will help me long after this class ends. For sure. Conclusion.